Hey there, and welcome to another video about English fluency and pronunciation. In today's video, you will learn how to use the word though in sentences and the several different meanings that it can have depending on how it's used. But before I move on to the different meanings of though, let's talk about how to pronounce it. Some people are confused because it's spelled with the same OUGH ending as in tough and through, for example. But as you probably already know, in English, we often have words that are pronounced differently from the way they're spelled. To pronounce though, we start with the voiced TH sound, where we put the tip of the tongue between the teeth. Make sure that your tongue is soft and you're not biting it. When you pronounce the TH, you need to be able to feel the air coming out between your tongue and teeth. After the voiced TH, we pronounce the diphthong O as in go. O, O, and the whole word is pronounced as though, though. Now, what does though mean? One of the main grammatical functions of the word though is as a subordinating conjunction. Conjunctions are words that connect words, clauses, or sentences. And subordinating conjunction is a type of conjunction that introduces a subordinate or dependent clause and connects it to the main or independent clause. For example, let's look at these two contrasting statements. I studied a lot, and I got a bad grade on the exam. They're contrasting because the fact that I studied a lot may imply that I should have gotten a good grade. The fact that I got a bad grade comes as a surprise. We can combine these two contrasting sentences into one using though. Though I studied a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Here, I got a bad grade on the exam is the main clause and I studied a lot is the dependent one. And we put the subordinating conjunction at the beginning of the dependent clause.
Though I don't have any friends right now, I intend to have them in the future.
When though is used to connect a dependent clause to an independent one, we can state the two clauses in any order. Here is an example with the main clause at the beginning of the sentence. I got a bad grade on the exam, though I studied a lot. In these examples, though has the same meaning as although, in spite of the fact that, or despite the fact that. In its function as a subordinating conjunction, though is fully interchangeable with these expressions. Let's apply the changes to our earlier examples. Although I studied a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Or, I got a bad grade on the exam, although I studied a lot. In spite of the fact that I studied a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Despite the fact that I studied a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Note that here, though, although, and the other two expressions must be followed by a subject and a verb. On the other hand, we can also use shorter versions of the last two forms, in spite of or despite, which require a noun, pronoun, or a gerund. Let's look at these sentences. In spite of studying a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Despite studying a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. Do you see the difference? All these sentences mean the same thing, so you can pick and choose what works stylistically best for you. Okay, let's look at other uses of the word though. Our earlier example can be restated in a different way using the expression even though. Even though I studied a lot, I got a bad grade on the exam. I got a bad grade on the exam even though I studied a lot. Even though works exactly like though or although, but it's used in a slightly more formal language.
Even though I try not to work on the weekends, many weekends don't feel restful.
Here are more examples. It was really cold even though the sun was shining all day long. She went to the party even though she wasn't feeling well. Even though the traffic was heavy, they arrived at the airport on time. Though can also mean but, yet, or however. In this case, it acts either as a subordinating conjunction, as before, or as a coordinating conjunction that links two main clauses. Coordinating conjunctions join elements that are grammatically equal or similar. Here is an example of two sentences that are of equal importance. The movie was long, and the movie was interesting. Now, let's join these two sentences using though. The movie was long, though it was interesting. It has the same meaning as the movie was long, but it was interesting. Or the movie was long, yet it was interesting. Or the movie was long, however, it was interesting.
They do have guides available to help you assemble them, though I don't think it'll really be a difficult process.
Here are two more examples with though used this way. He's a bit shy, though he is very friendly once you get to know him. She has a demanding job, though she enjoys the challenges it brings. But notice that in contrast to but and yet, though can be used at the end of the sentence. In this case, it acts as an adverb and the two clauses form independent sentences. The overall meaning is the same though. Well, I guess I just use though this way. Let's rephrase our earlier examples by moving though to the end. The movie was long. It was interesting though. He's a bit shy. He is very friendly once you get to know him though. She has a demanding job. She enjoys the challenges it brings though.
I don't know though.
While but and yet here cannot be used at the end of the sentence, we can use however instead of though. For example, the movie was long. It was interesting, however. But the word however is more often used at the beginning of the sentence. Though is actually more popular at the end. Another use of though is as a part of the expression as though, which is a synonym to as if, and it indicates an unreal or improbable situation.
It was important, and Roger fought every battle as though it was the biggest.
For example, she looked at him as though she had seen a ghost. This is the same as she looked at him as if she had seen a ghost. The old book smelled as though it held the secrets of centuries. He spoke as though he had rehearsed extensively. Okay, there are two more uses of though that are probably the most confusing to English learners. These are the cases when one person makes a positive statement and the other person answers with, "Is it though?" or "Isn't it though?" For example, let's say we have Alice and Bob talking. Alice says, "Molly's a great boss," and Bob responds, "Is she though?" In this case, Bob doesn't think that Molly's a great boss and is questioning Alice's statement. Bob's response means, "Really? You think so? I don't think so."
Classic.
Is it though?
But if Bob responds, "Isn't she though?" this means that Bob agrees that Molly's a great boss. "Isn't she though" can be translated as "Indeed, I think so too." It intensifies the original statement.
What a cool view when you come upstairs.
Isn't it though?
By the way, "isn't she though" is typically stated with the following intonation, which indicates a more assertive and confirmatory statement rather than a question. I know this might be confusing, but just remember that the question in its positive form, the positive verb plus the pronoun plus though, means that you disagree with or are questioning the other person's statement. And the question in its negative form, the negative verb plus the pronoun plus though, means that you agree. Here are more examples. "That was a great movie." Was it though? This means I didn't like the movie. Wasn't it though? This means that I agree that the movie was great. I think she should apply for the job. Should she though? It means that I don't think she should apply. Shouldn't she though? This means that I agree that this would be a great job for her. Let me know in the comments if you use though often and how you usually use it. If you learned something new from this video, please click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, comment below if you find any other words or grammatical structures in English confusing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!